po, sara mo na yan!
Another one.
The mystery of Ashraf Marwan, traitor or hero? Murder or accident? Welcome my friends back. Let us start our topic for the day. A man that thought about a legend and double agent, that changed the historical of two country, Ashraf Marwan, otherwise known as the Angel, was an Egyptian, born on February 2, 1944. He filled in as a government operative for the Israeli Mossad. However, some fight that he was a double operator who, in the interest of Egypt, picked up the certainty of Israel, who thought he was a covert operative for the Israeli Insight Office during the 1973 Yom Kippur War. From 1969, Marwan served in the presidential office, first under Gamal Abdel Nasser and, at that point as a nearby associate to his replacement, President Anwar Sadat. In 2002 it became realized that, during the period paving the way to the October 1973 Yom Kippur War, Marwan spied for Israel, under the Mossad codename the Angel. His admonition on October 5, 1973 that war will begin tomorrow, set off a crisis Israeli military preparation and forestalled both a total shock on October 6 and the total control of the Golan Heights by the Syrian army daily later. He was married to Mona, the daughter of Gamal Abdel Nasser, and living respectively in their home in England, London. He began his life there as an understudy. At that point during his terrible economic life he attempted to call the Israel International Safe Haven for offering some Egyptian privileged insights to exchange it for cash. After he was the workplace administrator of President Anwar Sadat, the Mossad made a coercion as they forced Ashraf to work for them as a double operator during the wartime against Egypt, or they will discharge the recorded call that he made. His decisions was between how he can be a government operative against his own nation or by working with their primary enemy. One side of the story that he give the Mossad a standout amongst other insight on the planet, in reason the best and most mysteries, so he can pick up their share and spy on them for his own nation. The opposite side of the story that individuals said he was just a double-crosser and worked for his own advantages and increase a great deal of cash from this arrangement. The data that filled Mossad need was about when the Egyptian side will begin the war and where precisely, so they can maintain a strategic distance from numerous superfluous passing during that unexpected assault to free Suez Canal and all or part of the 23,000 square miles of the Sinai promontory involved by the Israelis. To do it they expected to hoodwink their foe at vital second, and the heavenly attendant was the key component in that double dealing. Marwan at long last gave the affirmation at a late evening gathering in London with the head of Mossad only 12 hours before the battling started. The Syrian and Egyptians would assault on two fronts. Said at 6 p.m. the next day, the holiest day of the Jewish year. The Israelis were absolutely ill-equipped. The vast majority of their warriors were at that point home with their families. The Israelis simply sufficient opportunity to assemble the stores and eventually spare them. The Holy Messenger disclosed to them the war would start at 6 p.m. It really started 4 hours ahead of schedule. The Egyptians had the option to get through the Israeli resistances, cross the Suez Channel and reclaim some portion of the land it had lost 6 years sooner, and as per the Egyptians, Marwan's trickiness was urgent. Following 3 weeks of battling, a truce was announced with the Egyptian despite everything controlling the Suez and part of the Sinai. 6 years later Egyptian President Anwar Sadat would recover every last bit of it by marking a noteworthy harmony arrangement with the Israelis. As far as it matters for him of the war, Sadat secretly granted Marwan the most noteworthy decoration of the nation. He had the option to hold clashing loyalties simultaneously, and that was as talented. That is the thing that made him an ideal covert operative. Marwan passed on under secretive conditions in June 2007. 5-story fall from his apartment balcony into a garden near Piccadilly Circus in London, where authorities initially wrote Marwan's death off as a suicide. However, some believe that Marwan was murdered. The motive? Perhaps an act of revenge against the Egyptian billionaire's betrayal of his country, or a deliberate push by hitmen hired to dispose of a spy. The truth remains hidden. So in the end, what do you think? Does the double agent spy Marwan is a hero or traitor? A patriot or a secret seller? Thank you and give us huge like so we can continue with these historic stories for you.
To change your